Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the RC Fitcast. It's Casey, along with Jesse and Andy. How are you guys doing today? Hopefully, we're doing good. On today's episode, we are going to be getting a little bit personal. We're going to be digging down into the personal lives a little bit. We're going to be talking about motivation and determination. If you want to think about it as motivation versus determination, that's kind of what I'm talking about as we prepped for this episode. What keeps us coming back to gym, and how we can help people take, little tidbits from each of us to help them continually get in the gym consistently. And then also on the pod today, we're going to recap a little bit of training, what we liked, what we enjoyed. I know there's a couple of workouts. I'm back in Utah this week, so there's a couple of workouts that were really fun to watch and coach through. That we had a 1 rep max squat. We had a long 3-rounder with some running and rowing in it. But first, before we get into that week of training, hit that subscribe button, everybody, all the listeners out there. Give us a 5-star rating, comment on the Facebook page or the in Apple Podcasts or wherever you download your podcasts on what you guys want to hear us talk about. And then, as always, share this with your friends. But hey, phasing into the week of training, we had one of the workouts from August when Andy, you and I were doing Murph. I remember watching the class when we were doing Murph go through this. It was a 3-round workout with rowing. It was rowing, deadlifts, box jumps, running, kettle swings, and pull-ups with different variations. And I think we were talking to each other that day. I think that was the day we did Murph a little bit slower. But I think we looked at each other that day, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of happy that we did Murph that day instead of this workout. And so were you able to get this workout in? Because I was, and it was not super fun. I mean, it was really hard. So how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I did. I was able to hit it, but I certainly had to scale some things. I didn't go with weight. I did step ups on the box jumps. I'm still slowly coming back from that month of Murph. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we found a groove in doing Murph, but that's about it. Our bodies just got used to doing that. So coming back from that has been a little rough for me personally.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I also went a little bit lighter. I didn't do a body weight deadlift for that workout, and I also did step ups. I tried to do box jumps, but my knee wasn't having it coming off the box, so I just did step ups because landing on the box also hurt. But I was able to do box jumps today, which was really nice. And then Jesse, anything? Do you see any big squats this week that you like, or
We
anything from the
did.
past couple of weeks of training?
Okay, hold on. I just had it and then everything left me. Um, okay, so Monday we've been on our back squat cycle, tested our 1 rep again. Paul got a new 1 rep of 315. Christian hit 300.
I was there for that.
That's a big lift because he missed 285, 295 the week before. Which one was I don't remember.
It was a really good looking lift.
That's awesome.
He honed in really good on technique that day, and just kind of cruised all the way up to 300 pounds and made it look really, really easy. So it was fantastic work by Christian.
That's awesome. Christina got 250. Carlos hit 235. Alexa 180, and Julie at 155.
Great lifts, everybody.
Finally hitting it in the notes for her.
Nice. So
that must have been a big goal of hers.
That's perfect because, I mean, you can see I had Christian and Carlos in my class at 6 o'clock on Monday, and it was great watching them kind of come from what you would call really in the level 1 course an immature squat, now looking much better like a standard squat, chest up, hips go back and down. The chest day's vertical bar path is really smooth. It's not leaning you forward. So there was some really good technique getting passed around in a couple of the classes, and it's fantastic to see everybody really taking the squat cycle to heart and working hard through that cycle. So that was really, really good. And then awesome, everybody clapping hands for those PRs. I love PRs. Hopefully we rang bells. I know in the 6 o'clock class we rang bells, so that was great. But fantastic. So let's do a little bit of a transition here. Let's move into the main topic of the day: motivation versus determination. So, Jess, I'll start off with you. What do you have anything as far as motivation versus determination? And this is really something where you can phase, like I said a little bit earlier in the intro, coming into the gym, focusing on the gym, but also something you can flex into real life, potentially your work life, your personal life.
Yes. So I, one thing that I really like, everybody that knows me knows that I love food. And that is the one thing that I will say I'm super consistent on. I feel like, that I probably have more determination in than other things. Because I listened to, in preps for this, I listened to a few TED Talks. And motivation, it said motivation is what gets us started, and determination helps us finish what we've started. And I really liked that because it just kind of clicked everything for me. I grew up in a family with divorced parents, 2 really separate cooking styles and eating styles with food, but both really good. And we had dinner every single night, homemade. Like, I didn't know you could buy spaghetti sauce from a jar until I was like 20. But I really loved that, like being involved with my parents in the kitchen, cooking homemade meals. Like we had homemade breakfast and dinner every single night. Like eating out was not something that we did. And I love that. And I think that they were able to pass on, my parents were able to pass on their motivation and a skill that I can have for my life to me, through getting me involved in the kitchen. And that's something that I'm really determined to pass on to my kids. And we don't have dinner every night, like around the table. Lots of nights where the kids eat dinner in the car coming from coaching 4:30, at 6 o'clock, going on our way to soccer practice or to ninja or something. But it's the motivation that like my parents instilled in me, and that love of food and being in the kitchen, that has made me determined to also pass that on to my kids, and not just like being able to cook dinner, but also learning about like healthy foods and foods that nourish our bodies and fuel our bodies to do the things that we love.
Exactly. Well, that's fantastic. And then, so I guess, we can do a different episode, most definitely on nutrition, as we did in the previous season of the RC Fitcast. But I guess, do you see with the kids, right? Do you see them motivated to say, hey, when they're looking? I know I've traveled a couple times with you guys up to the ski lake and stuff, and you guys always have like good snacks in the car, right? Something that the kids are there to grab, right? And then, so do you find that it's already motivating the kids to go, they're reaching for the good snacks while they can and fueling their bodies correctly? I know that's really important.
My rule is like, I want to have the healthiest snacks readily available. So we always have a big fruit tower, I don't know, you call it bowl, something.
Yeah,
on our
the
counter.
tower and the bowls.
Right, you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about. You've been here.
Yeah.
So we always have like, and I always ask the kids every week, like, what do you guys want me to get you at the grocery store? What are the snacks you want? This fall, Mason was on a huge peach kick. Like, I was going to Costco twice a week for like a flat of peaches because he was eating so many. He would eat like 4 peaches a day. But it's, also like, I'm not like, you have to eat this plain. If he wanted like a little cream and sugar on the top of it, like it's better than him having a pack of goldfish or a granola bar. Like I would rather him have that. And when I ask them what they want for dinner, like I'll ask them, what vegetable do you want to have for dinner? And they can tell me they want asparagus or broccoli or artichokes or whatever. But I think the more like you just kind of need to normalize it. And so the more they see them and experience, you know, fruits and vegetables like all the time, then the easier it is for them to choose when it's what they see all the time. Like all the other snacks are in the pantry behind me, but like the fruit is always there. So they always have,
it's always out in
and
front
the
of them,
fridge is
right?
always, I put their snacks, like all the fruit is usually that's in the fridge is on their height shelf. So they open the fridge and that's what they see, not string cheese. And you know, that's not a bad snack, but I'd rather them go to like the veggie tray than something else.
Exactly. Well, that's fantastic. I'll hit a little bit on motivation versus determination for myself personally. Coming from really an athletic background, college athletic background, for a long time, before I even started CrossFit, I was extremely motivated and determined to be the best that I could be, really the best that there could be in a certain sport, right? With running, and you kind of found yourself limitations, and I found limitations most definitely with myself. It was hard. It was a very hard transition going way back from high school into college, right? Where you became, I quickly became not the fastest, right, in my running group, and there's seniors and juniors, even freshmen that came right in with me that weren't very fast, but that made me hungry and continued to make me determined to be better, and help me show up every day to college. Now, transition to CrossFit, Utah, different state. At one point, I was most definitely very, very motivated to want to do really, really good at local comps. That was really my training style, was let's lift multiple times a week. Let's Metcon as hard as possible. And at one point, my body just gave out. I had a pretty severe head injury where, for that don't know me, the doctors thought I had a aneurysm, a brain aneurysm. I had migraines for about a year and a half straight, and I was not able to work out for a couple of months. The doctor said, I can't even pick up a barbell, until I ended up getting an MRI and a couple of scans. And then finally they snaked a camera up into my head, to look for the aneurysm. But that changed my motivation. Didn't end up having an aneurysm, which was great, but it changed my motivation as far as coming to the gym. It changed me from really treating it like almost a job, where I wanted to do the best that I could do every single day, to what is the best for me every single day? What is the best I can be doing that gets me to the age of 70 and beyond, 80 and beyond, still being able to move, run, ski, all this stuff that I like to do outside of the gym. And that's what continues to motivate me on days where I really don't feel good. Say my back doesn't feel good or my knee doesn't feel good. I can come into the gym and know, hey, the ego was checked, a year and a half ago. I can come into the gym and I can put zero weight on the bar, and I can modify the movements that'll make my knees okay, make my ankles okay, make my back okay. And I feel totally fine with that. And I know that me coming to the gym and moving my body and doing something is better than sitting on the couch for that 1 hour and doing absolutely nothing. Because I know even if I stay home 7 times out of 10, I'm not going down to the floor while I'm watching TV and going to stretch. Right. I know it's really hard for me to stretch when I'm not at the gym, when I'm not surrounded by people that are of the same, we're all of the same mindset when we're in there. We're getting better little bits at a time. So that's where I'm at with my motivation versus determination a little bit there. So
Casey, sorry. I
no, go ahead.
I read this quote. I have lots of quotes tonight, guys.
Love quotes. Love quotes.
Is that it was like we're motivated by others, but determination is our own will. So like it's motivating to go to the gym because you're like, oh, I'm gonna go, I'll work out, I'll see everybody else. That will motivate me. But once you get there, you can really half-ass any workout, right? You have to be determined to like, I'm gonna get through this workout, I'm gonna push myself depending on how you're feeling, but you still have to decide to put in the work once you get there, and that timer goes off.
Exactly. And I think that's a really big change, right? I say sometimes, I joke a lot of times, I'm going to use the first round to warm up, because sometimes I don't take the warm up super seriously. And even like, I use the first round to feel out, how does my body feel today? Can I push it a little bit harder? Or is it just going to stay at, am I going to stay at 75% today and just move the weight with good technique? I mean, we should be moving good technique anyways, right? But really honing in and focusing on technique in that day, and then coming back to fight another day at a higher intensity, most definitely. Working out for a couple years. Andy, what you've been coming to CrossFit, doing CrossFit now for what's going on, 12 years now, something like that. What motivates you about the gym? What couple stories do you have for the folks?
Well, I mean, honestly, I can say that coming to the gym fills in me something that I've grown up with since I can remember. I've always had some type of ball in my hand since I was a toddler, football, baseball, basketball. So I was always involved in sports all the way up through high school. You name the sport, I was involved in it. And, that competitiveness, I think back now on it, and there was certainly that motivation, like Jesse talked about, just showing up and being motivated by the teammates or even my competition across from me. It's kind of hard to pinpoint where determination took over when I was younger. But then, transitioning, like you said, over when I made that change to strictly going CrossFit. And I will mention that ever since about maybe 2011, I've sworn off contact sports. I've mentioned that to some people, multiple people. When I say contact sports, I'm talking any team sports, anything where I am not in control of my own body, basically. And that's why I argue that CrossFit is the best for me personally. I am in complete control of my body. And so most of my injuries, 90% of my injuries are from sports, not CrossFit.
Contact sports, right?
Contact sports. So to me, I stay away from that stuff because I'm so competitive. I just can't control what I do on the floor sometimes. Anyways, I'm getting way off course here.
But it's impressive that you can do that in the gym, though. You make really smart choices and can control.
It took me a while, Jesse. Like you said, I've been doing this over 13 years now. And in the very beginning, I would say the first 4 to 5 years, I had a goal, or I was motivated by possibly making it to the games. Like I wanted to be that games athlete, and I pushed my body a little too far sometimes. And so when I think about motivation and determination, the first thing that comes to mind is goals, and that can be a whole nother subject we could talk about. But making sure, whatever your goal is, it's realistic, it's attainable. In my mind, that's what I have to make sure. What am I reaching for? And that initial motivation certainly starts with, whether it is at the box, whether it's at work. For me, the last 20 years being active duty Air Force, showing up, being motivated by my peers, my coworkers, my leaders, my subordinates, whatever it is. And that's what I'll talk a little bit about is, inside the box and outside the box. Outside the box, outside the gym, I found that determination kind of my goal in my career after seeing good leaders and bad leaders was wanting to be one that I had the potential to be. And so that combined, honestly, that's where fitness became a big part of my life, and especially CrossFit, when I realized how much that affected not only my physical body, but my mentality, my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked about that in previous podcasts, how much fitness, can influence those other pillars in our lives.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
and I wanted to be that example to my peers, my subordinates, my leaders. And so that's what, when I would wake up and not sleep well a lot, that's where that
Mm-hmm.
determination, I think, kicked in. Same kind of goes with the box. I certainly, like many other people, have days where I don't feel like going to the gym. Um, and I know some of those days it's like, okay, my body's telling me it needs a rest day. So listen to your body, obviously. Take a rest day when you need that. But, if you're on a schedule and your body's good to go and you're just mentally not there, that's where kind of for me, and habit is a huge thing for me, routine and habit, but that's where I can kind of pinpoint that determination kind of kicks in to help me reach
Mm-hmm.
my goals, whatever it may be. When I think we talked just before the podcast about, all my deployments. You may laugh and you may thinking about that, why did I continue going to the gym? What got me through my deployments? Well, it was my wife. The
Mm-hmm.
number one thing was uh, the looking forward to the reunion with my wife. And,
Mm-hmm.
after my first experience on a deployment and the transformation of losing 40 pounds, um, I was a completely different person. And that reunion was amazing, just to see the shock on her face of what I look like, but then also,
Oh, I
just,
bet.
and then how it just changed my life. Um, that it was a constant reminder, for future deployments or every time I was away from the family. And just that's what really
Mm-hmm.
set me on my path to fitness and CrossFit changing my life.
Well, yeah, that's fantastic. And I mean, what it sounds like really is, you leaving on deployment, you're motivated and determined to come back, a better human for your family, for your wife, for everybody around you, right? You're away from them for an extended period of time, and you're determined to come back better, um, and support them away and here, right? And just be the best person you can be when you come back, and that's amazing, and more power to you. I mean, thank you for your service and your time, doing that and being away from the family. It got to been, mm, can't even imagine, crazy hard, crazy hard. And but that's I kind of figured a little bit that's what you were gonna say, but for it to be that that motivating time and time and time again is amazing, is amazing.
I think that shows a lot, like the discipline that you have, both in your career and in your personal life, in and out of the box. Um, and I think having that discipline is like the connector between the motivating, like being motivated, and the determination too.
Yeah,
That
that
it
routine
takes
and
that
habit
discipline to, like,
is
yeah,
discipline.
it takes that discipline to, like, I don't know, I guess it's just like the link between motivation and discipline, or motivation
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
determination
And
is
self-discipline
discipline.
Yeah, and
is
I
a
think
huge thing in the military, whatever branch
Hmm.
you're in. And I attribute a lot of my self-discipline to the military, what it taught me, my experiences. And, so it is kind of hard. I'll admit it's hard for me sometimes to relate to other people that have not had military experience when they're struggling with motivation or determination
Mm-hmm.
or self-discipline, because it's so ingrained in me now. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to relate sometimes to people, but that doesn't mean I'm not willing to talk to them. I love talking to people about it. I love trying to,
Yeah.
empathize with them however I can, and mentor them or help them or just listen, listen to their stories. Um, yeah.
Exactly. And I think, routine, really, really good for motivation, as you're saying, and determination, right? If you're determined to stick to your routine, then getting to the gym becomes a little bit easier, right? If you go to the gym at the same time every day, see the same people, regardless of the people, right? You show up, you put your foot in the door, you start working out, you know,
Mm-hmm.
besides of how you're feeling, as you said, if your body needs a rest day, your body needs a rest day. If your mind needs a rest day, show up at the gym. It's
Mm-hmm.
only an hour, and it'll be 100% worth it to drag your butt in there, get some work in, and get forward, because there's all the coaches in the gym. I try as a coach to be really, really good and upbeat and motivational to get you determined to do the work, right? If I know you can do the work in the gym, I'm going to try to push you to be your best that day. I'm a little bit of a yeller as a coach, not just a little bit, but I try to bring that energy and help people that you can see maybe potentially are down in the dumps that day, or had a hard day at work or something like that, and try to help them through it and get them to have one of their best hours in their day, before they either go home or go off to work, depending on what time of day I'm coaching, for people. So it's very, I think it's very important. The gym plays a huge factor in your life, and you gotta
Mm-hmm.
slice that hour in every day to go to the gym and schedule that and keep that as part of your routine. So that was a very good point you made, and I just wanted to remake it again for all the listeners. So, um,
Well, I mean, I'm sure you
yeah.
can agree that 99% of the time, that if you can just get yourself to the gym, even if you're not motivated to go, you're going to be happy when it's all done. You're
Mm-hmm.
you're
Mm-hmm.
going to feel better about yourself. You're going to be like, what was I thinking? Whatever. You're just going to be happy about it.
Exactly.
I can maybe
Yeah.
count in
Exactly.
the last 13 years, maybe a couple times when I've like forced myself to go to the gym. I get through the warm up and I'm like, nope, it's not here. Nope, I'm going, you know, it's only
Uh-huh.
I
happened a
love it.
couple
That's still one of
times,
like my
you
favorite
know?
days of coaching was Yvette warmed up and she was like, yeah, not feeling it. And she, 5 a.m., 5:25, she was like, I'm going home. We were like, you're
Yeah.
already here. And she's like, just not feeling it. But I
Hmm.
think that's like, Casey, going back to what you're saying, like, I think the right type of motivation can strengthen your determination. You get to the class, you get to the gym, the community around you, your coach can really help motivate you and like get you back into a good mindset, right on
Mm-hmm.
the right track.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And none of this is going against people that are having really hard mental days trying to pull themselves up,
Absolutely.
by the bootstraps, right? And it's, I feel for every one of you, because especially when, I was on, I couldn't even tell you all the drugs that I was on. I was taking 4 or 5 pills at once for my migraines before, and it just made me tired. And, I had a resting heart rate of like 45 when I was on that stuff, because it was such like a low downer to keep my blood pressure low. And, you know, I couldn't go to the gym and work out. So that was it was a very dark time, but um, I was able to go to the gym and coach. And so I did talk to Kevin at that time, and I was taking in a couple of classes, and it made me feel better to be at the gym with the people, just even coaching, right? Not
Mhm.
even working out. So showing up to the gym, even if you're going to come hang out, I mean, just it's good for you. It's good to come talk to people that care about you. Everyone in the gym cares about each other, so it most definitely helps. from all aspects of life, really, personal and on your fitness side of things. So, but very good. Those are really my closing remarks. Jesse, do you have any closing remarks on motivation or determination at all? Any other quotes you want to read off from the TED Talk you watched? Because
I'm just
there was a
going
couple
through
of good
them right
ones we
now.
spoke about.
I really liked, I don't know. I really liked one that they talked about, there were a few kind of put together that was, lots of people are driven by this like firework display that's really intense. It's lots of like flashy and loud, and it's really motivating, right? Like one big thing can be like, oh yes, I'm gonna do this, but that constant pilot light, and John Lewis said this, like, it's fireworks versus a constant pilot light, where there's just this small flame, but it will last forever. Like, and keeping you motivated and determined. Like, that motivation is like a firework, right? Like, it's quick and it's intense and it's awesome, but it is a short show, right? Where determination is like a pilot light and it can burn forever.
Yep.
And so, you gotta, if you're losing that motivation, like, dig a little deeper and make it personal, and find a way to
just do it.
like, yeah, to do it, basically.
But I mean, I will say, yeah, motivation, to go off what you said, motivation is a firework. Motivation is, just want to be a little bit for Dan. Motivation are like the videos you see on YouTube, right? You can watch those videos, and I used to do it in college all the time. I was driven, but a lot of times I didn't have the energy to, after classes and running and then a little bit of weights. Like today, wanted to go, maybe go lift more weights or go try and do something to be a little bit better. And I was determined, but I wasn't motivated. And so I would even watch these kind of, motivational videos that made you just jump up off the couch and go, I'm going to go do something great for myself right now. And what has to keep that going is constant drive and constant determination. And so you can get off the couch with a little bit of motivation from a video, someone, talking deeply to you through a speech or something like that. You see those football coaches, right, getting rallying the troops and getting a team to fight for a big win with a motivational speech, but it's the determination of the players that win the game. So that's the firework versus the pilot light. That's for sure. Andy, how about you? Anything else you want to close with?
Yeah, there's just a lot of resources out there. I can just think back, what really motivated and kept me on the road to whatever my goal was watching all the YouTube videos, the OGs, Chris Spieler, Rich Froning, Jason Khalipa, Miko Salo, all my favorite athletes that I learned how to move from. And, they kept me motivated to continue, in my fitness journey. And then the same goes in the military, when I would struggle with wanting to, not wanting to go to work for whatever reason, I would always turn to certain YouTubers. Simon Sinek is one of my favorites when it comes to leadership. And, he always just kind of filled my cup and got me back on, where I needed to be a good leader. So find what motivates you personally. It's not going to be the same for everybody, but there's always something out there for you.
Yeah, most definitely. There's plenty of people out there now. The internet is a big, great place for motivation. There's a lot of good, like you're saying, YouTube compilations of multiple speeches in a row. I know that I've heard a couple of them. There's a lot of good TED Talks out there too. One of my favorite guys is Ben Bergeron. I know a lot of you guys know who he is. He's a great CrossFit coach. He did coach Chris Spieler at one point. I love what he has to say. He has a podcast, and it's just really great on a mindset type of thing, and controlling what you can. That's what in the end keeps me a little bit motivated and determined. If any events happen in my life that kind of deter me away from that. So, but fantastic, guys. I appreciate a great conversation this evening. I hope everyone else enjoys it too. If you have enjoyed it, share this with your friends. Everybody give us a 5-star rating. Leave us a comment, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want us to talk about. As I said earlier, go ahead and subscribe. As I said, share this with your friends, everybody. But let's close it out real fast here. Celebrating this week, anything, everything. We'll see. Jesse's face is like, oh man. I'll start first so you guys can think about what you're celebrating. I'm celebrating that it finally snowed in the great state of Utah, like a good amount on the hills. The mountains look amazing. I got my skis are mounted. I'm extremely excited about the season to come. Let's just hope that the snow, it continues to be cold and there's a little bit of moisture in the air, so the snowpack isn't extremely scary for the backcountry this year. But if not, we can go play in the resort and it'll be a good time. So I'm excited about the snow. I'm celebrating the snow. I'm celebrating the cold. I wore my puffy jacket the other day, so it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Jess, anything you're celebrating?
This week is fall break for our kids, so we are just gonna I'm celebrating like a fun weekend. We spent 10 days a few weeks ago trapped at home, so we are going to go do a fun like few fall things. We're gonna go to Dinosaur Park for their nighttime spooky stories and finalize our Halloween costumes, which I'm super excited about, and having a fun Halloween dinner with all sorts of spooky foods. Worms and brains.
Oh, worms and brains.
It's going to be a good time.
Made out of, is it Jello?
It is Jello. I have a brain Jello mold.
Oh, nice.
It's a good time.
Nice. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Andy, anything from you celebrating? Feeling better from Murph, maybe?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's getting a little better day by day. No, I'm right along with you. I'm celebrating just the cooler weather. I love fall. I love the month of October. My wife is huge into Halloween. She loves Halloween, loves the
we
makeup.
Need to chat about Halloween.
Maybe next episode we could bring up some prior years photos of her makeup artistry that she does. She's pretty amazing. Does it all herself.
Andy, here's my question. Does she talk you into dressing up for Halloween?
No.
What?
Nope. She's tried.
Oh, come on.
I've done it I'll admit I've done it a couple times, but
picture proof.
Yeah.
I think we'll share pictures next time, because I have a great picture from last weekend. I was Joe Dirt, so it was fantastic.
Heck yeah.
Is this 2 years in a row that you're Joe Dirt?
2 years in a row, but this time I went all out, and that's why I have a mustache right now.
Mutton chops.
Because I actually cut chops into my beard, and I had like this little bit here, and it was fantastic. So next week we'll get it up on the video, and it'll be fantastic. Oh man.
Andy, come on.
Good.
Let's do it. What? Dress up.
Yeah, Jesse wants you to dress up.
Kevin also hates Halloween.
I don't hate Halloween. I love the parties. I love going and seeing everybody dress up. It's just really not my thing.
That's Kevin too. But he is dressing up because
fantastic.
We make him.
The great one I can't wait to share. One time I did dress up was for a Halloween party at our box in Arizona. I went dressed up as in her outfit that she would wear to the box, and she wore mine. So you can imagine I was actually in her clothes
I like
And
it.
we won. We won the Halloween contest party, so
Hell yeah.
that was fun.
You won, so you retired costuming.
Yeah.
He went
Makes
out on
sense.
top. I'm retiring now. I'm out
I
on
mean, why
top.
dress up ever again?
Oh man, fantastic, very good. Well, all right, we'll close out. So thanks everybody for listening this week. As you have noticed, we were able to pull off this is back together now. So we'll be I'm back in town. I'm traveling every other week, so this will be good. We'll have episodes now more on a consistent basis. We're off next week. We'll be back the following week, and we'll maybe doing this in person a little bit. May go live, little bit of a teaser, may show people moving. I don't know. It'll be a great time. But thank you all again for tuning in, for listening. Again, share this with your friends. But you can find us on the RC Athletes page on Facebook, and then the RC Fit Instagram page. Find us there, posting videos of athletes all the time. But fantastic. Also on YouTube as well. So you'll find these videos that we're doing right now up on YouTube and past podcasts, along with coaches' videos if you want to get to know the coaches a little bit more. So that's on there as well. Ooh, man, I'm just going to keep rolling here because I remember Kevin was talking about this earlier. Grinch games, first weekend in December. All right, put that on your calendars, listeners. First weekend in December. We got to make the workouts. They're going to be super good. So it'll be a fun time. Mark that on your calendars. And until next time, my friends, stay healthy.